Yo, what is up guys, and welcome to another Wild Rift video. And in today's video, I got the patch notes for the new patch 3.5 for you guys. And this is a massive patch. I scrolled a little bit through this patch notes. I haven't read them, but man, there are so many changes. Especially at the very ending of the video with the items. Like, I didn't even read through it, but there's basically 10 pages or something just with item changes and new items. So let's go ahead and read through it. This patch, Kayn and Aatrox are released. Blah, 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 blah. All this doesn't matter. Buff share. Oh yeah, this one. Buff sharing is also here. This is with the blue buff and the red buff. I think we'll read about it later. And then buffs for everyone. In addition to the new buffs, we're also updating Smite, introducing a new jungle buffs, and making some adjustments to all our jungle monster friends. So jungle is getting changed a lot. We have some new and reworked items and runes. I should make a full video explaining every single item in the game again after this update. People keep telling me that. I think I'll do it in this update. As well as some balance update across the maps. In addition to these changes, we have also adjusted to player behavior. Yeah, so punishing players. We still have lots of stuff to come out throughout the duration of 3.5 to see what else in store there is to check out. To see what else is in store, check out our latest patch review, which we've already done. Alright, new champions. Unfortunately, I won't be at home when the new champions come out because I'm gonna be in Germany. I'm not sure if I can make a guide for them, we'll see. But okay. Once honored defenders of Shurima, you know, this doesn't really matter because there's a lot in this patches. I'm not gonna read everything, okay? Aatrox is gonna be released on 17th of November, 0.001 UTC, which means 1 AM Dutch time or German time, French time. I don't know what it is in American time, but here it's gonna be at that time. So when this video comes out, the champions are gonna be coming out 2.5 hours after this video is gonna be released. And then also Kayn releases at the same time, you know, November 17th. I have no idea how these champions work, but I'm hearing a lot of exciting stuff about Aatrox. Like, apparently this is a 1v9 champion. Apparently he has like a crazy ultimate that buffs him and allows him to destroy everyone. I don't know. Like, I don't know. So let's keep reading. New features, gallery skin sets. Honestly, guys, I really don't care too much about all of this, like display skins, blah, 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 whatever. Okay, here we go. Player behavior. We know how frustrating it is when players swipe up and out of your game and leave you and your team at a disadvantage. To be honest, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This is honestly not my main problem anymore because... Oh no, you know what? Because I remember when they changed it where you would get LP back. Like, you wouldn't lose as much LP if a player goes AFK. I'm not sure if that's the same now, because now it's the point system. So I'm not sure if they have that. If they just bring that back, then this wouldn't be a problem anymore. But let's see what they do. This patch, we have a few new adjustments and penalties for this type of behavior. Added a new penalty type for players who are AFKing in game that will apply prior to queuing up for a game. This penalty will apply in the form of X amount of time for Y number of games. Basically, if you AFK once, maybe you have to wait in a queue for like 10 minutes and then you'll actually go into a queue. If you AFK again, you know, maybe you're gonna have to wait for 30 minutes, 3 games in a row, right? Like, that's the whole idea. So when a player queues, if they have any remaining games, they will sit in queue for X amount of time before they actually begin searching for a match. Exactly. So like I said, right? Like, if you have a 15-minute penalty, you're gonna have to wait 15 minutes in the actual game and then you can queue up. This is a good change. I like this. Only once you accept a match and play out the game will your Y number of games decrease. So you have to actually finish the game, play the whole game, then the number of punishing matches is gonna be decreased, right? I mean, I like this. This is going in the right direction. You know what I honestly would like, guys? You know what I honestly would like? Not only for AFKs, but people that troll, like generally people that troll, they should be put in like some sort of a separate queue. You know what we need in Wild Rift? Karma. Karma. Not the champion karma, but like actual karma. Like, how do I say this? Because report system does get abused a lot. That's the problem, right? Like, people report players just for being bad. So it's a little bit hard to do this in the proper way. But if a player gets a chat ban, or if a player goes AFK a lot and things like that, his karma should go down. And then, you know, you will be matched with players that also have a low karma. This way, people will really not do it anymore because people with low karma are all toxic. So imagine a match with 10 toxic players. You know, everyone is going to be trash talking each other, but at least then it's only the trash talking players. I think something like that would fix the game. Not necessarily like the fact that the low players will match with each other, but it's gonna scare people. It's basically like Jill, right? Like Jill is not really there to lock people up, I would say. Jill is really there to scare people from doing a crime, right? Like that's kind of the idea, in my opinion. That's my opinion. Maybe people think differently, but basically, like, people are gonna be scared. Like, people are not gonna be stealing anymore. People are not gonna do this anymore. Same in game. People are not gonna be trash talking anymore. They're gonna think twice. They're gonna be like, do I really wanna match in this low karma lobby, or do I want to stay here? Then I'm gonna be like, okay, sure, I want to stay here. You know what? I'm just not gonna AFK. I'm gonna play this game out, and then I'm gonna stop playing out of whatever. But at least they'll play that one game out without being toxic. I think that could potentially be a fix, so maybe. We're also introducing a new feature to our ranked queue. Ooh, I have not read this. Oh, wait, I have. The matchmaking avoid list. Players in ranks diamond and below, so this doesn't work if you're master or higher, will have the ability to add up to 3 other players to their avoid list in the post-game lobby. You will now have the option to add players to your avoid list after leaving the post-game lobby. So when you add someone to your avoid list, you will no longer be matched with the avoid listed player on your team in the ranked matchmaking mode. So the avoided player can still be in your enemy. You can only just avoid them from your own team. I mean, sure, this is great. Like, if someone trolls you, you can just put him in your avoid list, and that helps a lot, right? Like, he won't be in your team anymore. And if so, yeah, if someone this is especially good. Well, is this really especially good for content creators? Because a lot of content creators are higher elo, so this doesn't really help content creators. But if you're just a normal player and you get trolled, you just put a player on your avoid list and you won't get that player anymore, right? The avoid listed player will remain on your avoid list until the list resets. Oh, so you would have to put him on it again. The avoid list will reset weekly every Monday. Alright. And you can put 3 people on it. I mean, this is good. This is going in the right direction as well. In addition to this new penalty, we've also made some adjustments to remake and all chat. Ooh, remake vote will not trigger automatically. So you won't have to actually click on it. It automatically triggers and you can remake very easily. Yeah. All chat. No, they remove all chat. No way. Why? I mean, to be honest, all chat, like 70% of the times, all chat was used to trash talk the enemy, right? Like, to tell the enemy how trash they are. I don't know, but that's what I saw. But still, come on. You're really removing all chat? No, I don't think this is. I don't think this is the way to go. Maybe they saw a rising amount of toxicity because of all chat. Well, I get it. Like, they can see what's actually happening, and if they decide that they have to remove all chat, I guess that's the right choice, because yeah. It's sad though, because I always had nice conversations during all chat, because, you know, a lot of people recognize me in game, so they'll start talking even in all chat. So, you know, I always had fun with all chat, but that's me. I'm a content creator, right? I can see how it's super toxic. I've also been trash talked like crazy in all chat, so I can see why they're removing it for sure. We know that these are a lot of new changes in the player behavior space, so please send us your feedback. All right, you'll get my feedback, don't worry. Position preference rewards. Oh, I want to talk about position preference real quick. I have jungle on my 5th role right now. I literally have support on my 1st, ADC on my 2nd, mid lane on my 3rd, Baron lane on my 4th, and jungle on my last. And I keep getting jungle. Why do I get jungle when it's my 5th role? I get it so often, like 1 in 5 games I get jungle. Maybe even 1 in 4 games. Like, are you kidding me? Give me any other role and I'm fine. It's not that I can't play jungle, because obviously I can play jungle. I'm just not in the mood for jungle anymore, because I played jungle for a whole week trying to get a Warwick video and some other videos. I don't want to play jungle anymore, so why am I getting the role if it's my 5th role? Like, I feel like they should make a change where you can put 1 role that you will never get. Like, basically, you know, your number 1 role, number 2, number 3, number 4. And then you can put 1 role that you'll never get, right? Like, maybe some people really don't want to support. Some people really don't want to jungle. I feel like we should have something where you put a role in it that you'll never get. Just 1 role. So, you know, you basically queue up for 4 roles. I feel like they should do that. What is this? Starting this patch, you now receive missions which will grant you a reward for opting into this. This is just missions and rewards. Blah, 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 blah. Wild Pass. Unfortunately, because it's Jhin, you can't have superheroes without supervillains. But fortunately for us, supervillain Jhin is making his grand entrance into the Wild Pass. Oh baby, this is an amazing skin. You'll be able to earn him and plenty of other goodies, and you complete missions and laugh maniacally at your foes. Once you complete the Wild Pass, you'll also be able to head to the Wild Pass Emporium and exchange rewards. Yeah, rewards, like Ascended Supervillain Jhin. Crystal Rose promotion. Yeah, they're adding Crystal Rose promotion for the Crystal Rose skins. You can open boxes. This is basically gambling. You can gamble, as you can see. Like, you have a zero... You open the boxes for 100 wild cores, and you only have a 0.5% chance to get the Crystal Rose Akali. Which means, essentially, you have to open 200 of these packets, which cost 20,000 wild cores, which cost 200 euros. So to get this skin, you would probably have to spend an average of 200 euros. But they have something else, which are the tokens. Like, you get these tokens as well, and you can exchange these tokens. Like, you can see, Crystal Rose Akali costs 32 tokens, so you can get it for the tokens as well. Or like Riven, Vi, blah, blah, blah. I think this is a bit of a scam, but we'll see. Like, this is definitely a money grab. They saw that it worked last time with the event that they did with the super cells. What are they called? Cells? Supreme cells? Yeah. I feel like they saw that they can make a lot of money with boxes, so they're doing it again. I don't like this way, but, you know, whatever works, because business is business, you know, you gotta be honest. It is honest business. At least they're telling everyone what the exact chances are, so it's not like you're gonna get scammed. Let me see. Champion changes. Alright, so let's see. I haven't really read through this. As I said, I only scrolled through everything just to see what happened. But let's see what happened. Ezreal. Mystic Shot doesn't hit as hard as he wanted to. Really? Really? Ezreal is not hitting as hard as you want him to? My god. Ezreal? Ezreal? Wait. Especially in the early part of the laning phase. I mean, that's true, but that's the whole point of Ezreal. Early game he's not that strong, but late game he destroys everyone. They're buffing the base damage from 20 to 30. Oh my god, this is huge in the early game. This is huge in the early game. You will do so much more poke damage in the early game. And in the late game, you won't really feel this too much in the late game, but the early game buff is absolutely massive. Like, you're really gonna feel this in the early game. You're gonna do so much more damage with your first ability. It's actually crazy. Wow. That is, I don't think this was necessary, but okay. Irelia, please nerf Irelia. Irelia's dash is a powerful tool that you can use to stick to your target. Exactly. But the way that it currently follows enemy movement is over the top. We're making Irelia's dash function closer to how you'd expect it. Oh! The dash no longer follows flashes or similar effects. You guys remember in a video where I told you the problem of Irelia is, and why in the tier list, I told you guys the problem of Irelia and why I put her in the S tier all the time is because you can't flash away from Irelia. You know, you flash away, she will still follow you with your first ability. I mean, now she is still possibly going to be able to reach you, but at least if you flash at the right moment, you can actually dodge out her first ability. And I assume if you dodge it out with flash, it puts it on a cooldown, if you know what I mean, right? Because she can put the stack on you, you know, if she stuns you or if she ults you. If you flash out of it, the dash will no longer follow you. Does that mean that the dash goes on a cooldown? That's the question. Because if that's the if that happens, then it's a pretty big nerf to Irelia actually. Because then you can outplay Irelia very, very well, not that easily, but you can just flash out of her first ability and she won't be able to chase you anymore because you'll put it on a cooldown. So if that is the case, then this is actually a pretty big nerf to Irelia and in my opinion would make her balanced. Janna has to get nerfed, by the way. We've had our eye on Janna, and she has been overperforming in higher ranks. Yeah, for sure. She's insanely powerful. Oh god, the coffee got cold. So the winds of change are coming. Haha. That's also a song, the winds of change. It's a really good song. We're hitting the scaling on Zephyr and the charge damage on Howling Gale, so that Janna can't blow her foes away easily. Bonus damage per second. So this one is losing flat damage, the first ability. So it's just gonna do a little bit less damage, a little bit. This really doesn't matter. This is really not a nerf at all. Like this is just a little bit. Ooh, she gets less movement speed now in the late game. Now this does matter. I would say it's a small nerf. It's not a big nerf because she still does insane damage with this ability, but it's just a small nerf. 9% is also enough, to be honest. Like, it's not like losing 3% movement speed in the late game is gonna make her bad suddenly. I really don't think you're gonna feel this too much. You're gonna feel this a little bit. You know, you won't be as mobile, but it's not gonna be that bad. I think Kha'Zix is gonna get nerfed. Kha'Zix has been harder to master, but it's still a force to be reckoned with. In the right hands, yeah. We're giving a slight boost to his base health, so players have a little bit more room for error, while also pulling back on the damage amp that Force Pulse grants. Looks like the force won't be with him after all. So that's a nerf, right? Base health goes up. From 570 to 600, okay, makes him a bit stronger early game. This is not really necessary because you can play safe anyways. Force pulls. After 6 spells are cast nearby, instead of getting 60% damage, oh, you get 40. That is the nerf he needs. Wow. So like the empowered third ability now does 40% bonus damage. That's a whole 20% less. But it makes sense. You guys know how much damage the empowered third ability did, right? I feel like this is possibly gonna make Khazad balanced, because this is a big part of his damage taken away. Really, really big part. But it makes sense. Like his ultimate already does so much damage in the later stages of the game. This is this is good. I really like this. Lux, I don't know what they're gonna do to Lux. The previous changes to Lux made her a force to be reckoned with in the mid lane, but she isn't scaling as well as you'd like in the support role. I mean, yeah, because people, even in the support role, people play full AP Lux. We're redistributing some of her power around her kit to get her into a better place in both roles and reach new heights. So yeah, they're changing the barrier, the second ability. The shield is less? They're nerfing the shield. So early game it's a flat nerf, but late game it's a flat buff, but it scales way worse with ability power. So even in the support role, this is actually weaker. Okay. The double shield is also getting nerfed. How is this getting any better for support? I mean, sure, at max range, you get 40 more shield, but you scale less, which means you're gonna be taking away that 40 as well. Well, it's a little bit better for support. Let's just say it like that. It's just a little bit better for support. But it's really, you won't really feel this too much. Ooh, they're nerfing the ultimate. This hurts Lux a lot. This hurts her a lot. From 85% AP scaling to 75%. Damn. No, this actually hurts Lux quite a lot. Because this is her main damage, the ultimate. And to take away 10% scaling from it, that hurts her a lot. Wow. Rakan, I really hope Rakan gets nerfed. Come on. Many Rakan players were not aware that his Gleaming Quill range increases with spell rank. Oh, that's the first ability. So yeah, they don't show in game that it increases in range. It's like a hidden thing in the ability for some reason. But now they're changing it apparently. Due to the range increases, the first rank range had to be low enough that the spell wasn't able to be used in lane. Yeah, because it was really low in the first rank. It was really hard to use it in lane. Yeah, correct. We're looking to enable Rakan to be more effective in the early laning phase and have him not have to invest points into Quill early on. So we're flattening the range and increasing the base damage. This is a buff. So this is a buff. His first ability is getting buffed. It's a flat 800 range, which is good enough. It's not going to be as much as these ones, but it's good enough. And they're buffing the damage, especially in the early game. Wow. So he's going to be a bit more annoying in the early game. And you don't have to put points in it now, so you can put points in your other abilities, which indirectly makes Rakan a stronger champion. Damn. Didn't think Rakan needed a buff. Senna. What is happening with Senna? Senna has been struggling to find her footing and pick up wins across the board. I mean, yeah, okay, I get it. Like, I've been winning a lot with Senna, but I get how she is not that strong. True. So we're giving her a hug and granting Last Embrace more damage and improving the cooldown on Curse of the Black Mist so that she can have more access to giving her team some extra mobility. Second ability does more damage. This is good. Third ability. Oh, this is great. This is great, actually. 4-second reduction. This is really great, because with ability haste as well, this is going to be a massive cooldown reduction. So you can really use the Black Mist a lot. Like during a team fight, this is going to be extremely powerful, because the enemies won't be able to hit you when you're in the Black Mist. That's amazing. Seraphine. Seraphine's ability to strike a chord, sing those sweet melodies, and cast spells in the early game stages of the game is under where we'd like, particularly in the support role. To lend this star a hand, we're giving her some extra mana regeneration so she can cast more freely. This makes sense. Like, a lot of people say Seraphine is not that strong. I disagree. Seraphine is decent. Like, if you can hit her abilities, she actually does a lot of damage. But yeah, mana has been a problem for her, but now she has more mana regeneration. So she can poke much more in the lane. She can spam her abilities much more. I really like this change on Seraphine. Shen. What are you doing to Shen? We've noticed that Shen players have been struggling to push waves. Yeah, correct. Like, I said that in my Shen video as well. Like, the only thing Shen struggles with is really pushing waves. In ways that we don't believe are appropriate, even though he isn't intended to have very strong wave clear. Okay. To open up more build paths for the stealthy Kinko, we're adding splash damage to Twilight Assault itself. which should also make the ability more satisfying to use. New. Bonus damage will apply at 50% effect. Stack splash damage. To attack splash damage. Basically, after you use his first ability, you're gonna do AoE damage, splash damage, AoE damage. So you can clear waves much faster. But is this AoE damage also gonna be applied on the enemy? That's the real question. I feel like this is gonna make Shen incredibly powerful. Because the only thing he was missing was wave clear. And now they're giving him wave clear. Like, he's actually gonna be able to split push really fast now. And then he's gonna be able to use his ultimate as well. Damn. Wow. That's pretty sick. Ziggs. After a series of nerfs, Ziggs is actually pretty bad now. And the reason that he's bad is because there's a lot of champions that counter him that are meta right now. Like Warwick, what is that other champion? Vex. Like all these new champions that are coming out counter Ziggs. So you really can't pick Ziggs anymore. After a series of nerfs, Ziggs is in a place where he could use a Spark of Help. We're looking to light of use and give him the ability to cast more spells and also grant him some extra mana regeneration. So he doesn't need to invest in it so much. Base mana goes from 435 to 460. Base mana regeneration from 12 to 16. Okay. That's gonna help him, you know? He's gonna have much more mana, he can spam his abilities more. I guess that's fine, like he can really spam his abilities more. Vex is 100% getting nerfed, by the way, 100%. Since her release, Vex has been on the strong side. Yes, very strong. So we're trimming some power away from Looming Darkness to make it a little more difficult for her to snowball in lane. Or through those mid-game skirmishes, while preserving her fun high moments, or whatever. Her third ability gets a longer cooldown, okay. The mana cost goes up as well. Okay, this is I mean, nah, this is not gonna make her bad. It's just gonna make her early game a little bit weaker, but with her ult and her all-ins are still gonna be the exact same. So yeah. Yone also gonna get nerfed. Despite recent changes, Yone is still performing above her expectations. Particularly high levels of play, yeah. To address this, we're reducing how much damage he can do with Spirit Cleave and lowering the frequency that he can use it. He can assault his foes with Soulbound. His second ability does less damage. This is actually much less damage now, especially early game. You're really gonna feel this. Especially because you don't max your second ability up until the very last. So basically you're stuck with the 10 instead of the 20, which is massive. So this is actually a bigger nerf than you may think. And his third ability is getting a longer cooldown. A much longer cooldown. Wow. Look at this. Late game goes from 11 seconds to 14 seconds. This is a massive nerf to Yone. Damn. So sad that I still don't have a Yone video. I was practicing Yone. I got pretty good at Yone, but not quite good enough to make a video. Now it's gonna be even harder because he's weaker now. Wow. Alright, so let's see. Those are the champion changes. What is this? Wait, I have not seen this. Oh, I have seen this. Ability cast speed scaling for champions adjustments. The cast speeds for Caitlyn's Piltover Peacemaker and Xayah's Double Dagger currently doesn't scale well with how quickly these champ fire off basic attacks in the late game. To address this, we're updating these abilities so that they scale with attack speed. Piltover Peacemaker, I think... Wait, Piltover Peacemaking? Which ability is that? Caitlyn abilities. Let me just make sure I have the right ability. Piltover... Oh, that's the first ability. Okay. So, the more attack speed you have, the faster she shoots her first ability. Okay. Okay, that is a buff. That is a buff to Caitlyn. And same for Xayah. The more attack speed she has, the faster her first ability skills. I really like this. It's gonna make it much more smoother to play these champions because basically you're not gonna lose damage now when you use your first ability because you have so much attack speed. You know, when you're using a first ability as Caitlyn or Xayah, it takes a lot of time to shoot it. And during that time, you could have hit like 3 or 4 basic attacks, right? Like that's the point. So they're increasing the speed that you can cast it now. So it catches up with your attack speed. Great changes. Yone, Yasuo, and Tryndamere overcap crit scaling. The intention with critical strike synergy passives for these melee champions is to reward them for building aggressively, particularly in their earlier purchases. However, in their current state, they're often not able to snag other aggressive items later in the game like Bloodthirster because of this crit cap. So we're giving them a payout for overcapping crit chance to open up those later slots. So they're saying Yone, Yasuo, and Tryndamere. What about Senna? Senna also easily overcaps the crit chance. Are they particularly saying that it is for these 3 champions? For melee champions. The intention with critical synergies for these melee champions. So this change is only for melee champions. Not Senna and not ranged champions. Ah, that's sad. Yeah, these melee, only for melee champions. Okay. Crit chance above 100% converts each 1% crit chance to 0.8 attack damage. So if you get an additional 25 crit chance, it's gonna be 20 attack damage. That's actually really strong. Bloodthirster is gonna give an insane amount of attack damage then. Exactly, that was a good example, Bloodthirster. Because like Bloodthirster on Yasuo or Yone is gonna be insane now. It gives so much attack damage. Wow. And of course, the extra crit chance above 100% would not be doubled by Yone or Yasuo's passive. That would be stupid, right? Like, ARAM changes. I don't care. Ooh, Jin. I don't care. Auto rapid fire changes. I don't care either. Gameplay changes. Alright, now we get to the point where I didn't read anything. Because from here on out, there's gonna be so many item changes. Alright, let's see. New items. Horizon Focus. Mage players have been asking for more options in their build paths. So we're here to deliver with a new take on Horizon Focus from League PC. You'll find our new version to be useful for mages, especially those with reliable crowd control effects to take advantage of the stacking passive. Findish Codex, this is a new item. That's the build path. It gives you 80 ability power. 150 health, and 15 haste. Okay. Passive Hypershot. When a non-targeted ability. Non-targeted ability. What is a non-targeted ability? A non-targeted ability. Oh, a non-targeted ability is a skill shot. So like Malphite's first ability is a targeted ability. So it shouldn't work on Malphite's first ability. But like Morgana's abilities are non-targeted. Her ultimate is not non-targeted because, you know, it is targeted. Like, basically, it doesn't work with Morgana's ultimate, but it does work with Morgana's first ability. It does work with Morgana's second ability. It works with Lux's first ability, Lux's third ability, and Lux's ultimate. So that's what it means. If it hits a champion at least 500 range away, 500 range is really not a lot. Like, that's really not a lot. It's like you can pretty easily do that. It applies one stack. Okay, so if you hit a non-targeted ability on a champion, it applies a stack. I can see that this item is already going to be broken on Morgana without even actually reading the ability, by the way. The item, by the way. When you immobilize a champion, does this also mean slowing a champion immobilize? If it does, then it's going to be broken on Morgana. You add 2 stacks. Oh, so wait. If you hit an enemy, it applies 1 stack. But if you also immobilize an enemy with it, it applies 2 stacks. Okay. The stacks last for 5 seconds. After reaching 3 stacks... By the way, if you hit multiple enemies, does it give you multiple stacks at the same time? That's the question. Because then you can instantly get the 3 stacks. I don't know. We're going to have to see. You will consume the stacks to deal 80 plus 20% ability power magic damage and apply another stack. Okay. Alright. I guess. Okay. I don't really know what this means, that it gives you another stack. But yeah. Alright, new item. Lord Dominic's Regard. That sounds fancy. The current penetration options. Why do I have such a dirty mind? Come on. Okay. The current penetration options are often unsatisfying. No, you knew what you were doing. Shut up. The one that wrote this, you knew what you were doing, okay? Now I'm gonna read it with a straight face and I'm not gonna laugh again. The current penetration options are often unsatisfying for marksmen. Jesus Christ. How can you write that with a straight face? Come on. So we're adding a new Last Whisper item that also offers crit chance. Oh, wait, what? To smooth out those awkward build paths. We're also trying something new with the passive, which should allow you to get some occasional snappy attacks in. This gives you 35 attack damage and 25% crit chance. This is not a lot of attack damage, by the way. Keep that in mind. It gives you the Last Whisper armor penetration. Your first attack on a champion after being out of combat with champions has 80% increased attack speed. Only your first attack. Okay. This item is probably gonna be pretty insane on Jinx or something like that. Or Vayne, you know. Well, not Vayne, actually. Vayne doesn't need armor penetration. But like on these crit ADCs, this is gonna be an insane item, actually. Wow. Ooh, they reworked Awakened Soul Steed. This item has been pretty bad. So let's see what they reworked about it. Awakened Soul Steed has been an item that has been under the radar and underutilized for a while because of its fellow competitors in the mana category, like Seraphs and Ludens. Yeah, it makes sense. Like, this item is just not good. To help it out, we're moving it to the penetration category instead of the mana category and revamping the passive to make it more about aggression and snowballing. Profit Pendant and into this. It gives you ability power 65, 20 haste and 150 health. Oh, this is a flat magic penetration. It's not gonna be like Void Staff. This is flat magic penetration. So it's good against squishies and it's good early game. 15 flat magic penetration. So now, unique passive Soul Flare. Takedowns on enemy champions within 3 seconds of dealing damage to them. Reduce the remaining cooldowns of your abilities, including ultimates, by 20%. Takedowns on enemy champions within 3 seconds. So it's not just assists. You actually have to take them down within 3 seconds of doing damage to them. Reduce the remaining cooldowns of your abilities. Who is this gonna be good at? Who is this gonna be good for? Ahri, maybe? Is this gonna be good for Ahri? Who is this gonna be good for? I'm not sure if this is gonna be good. They of course removed the old passive, but this is interesting. It reduces all of your abilities by 20%. Interesting. I get, yeah, like Ahri, like you could go for it as your second item on Ahri, I suppose. We'll see what's gonna happen. Divine Thunderer. Divine Thunderer is incredibly powerful. As a competitor to Trinity Force, Divine Thunderer... Wait, what? Divine Thunderer has been losing a bit of its sheen. Funny. We're buffing it up. We're buffing Divine Thunderer. No way. From 20 to 25 attack damage, from 20 to 25 ability haste? Really? Really? Divine Thunderer is not strong? Huh? How is that possible? How is Divine... What? There's no way, right? Like, isn't Shen just gonna be insanely broken now with Divine Thunderer? Because he's getting buffed and his item is getting buffed. Wow, okay. This is the Green Book. I'm not gonna try to pronounce this again. If people laugh at me. Now that we have a Soul Stealer in the penetration category, we can unbind the Green Book from this category. Okay. Which will make it more accessible for enchanters and mages that don't want to invest in only damage items. This less expensive item should be an easy way for ability power champions to counter healing in situations where they need it, without breaking the bank. They're making it even more even cheaper. It's now 2,500 gold, and it only gives you 70 ability power and 20 ability haste. That's it. And of course, it gives you the anti-heal. This is actually a pretty bad item now. Like, if you're full build, this item is so weak. I can't believe they're making the Green Book such a weak item, such a weak and cheap item. Like, they don't need to make this a cheap item. If you need anti-heal, all you have to do is just buy an Oblivion Orb for 800 gold. You don't need to finish the item. I am really not sure why they're making this item so weak and cheap. This is not what they should do to this item. Like, as I said, if you need anti-heal, all you have to do is just get an Oblivion Orb for 800 gold. You don't have to finish off the item, and that's what everyone does already. Their change to this item absolutely makes 0 sense. 0 sense. Because they're removing health, they're removing magic penetration. Like, what is the point of this item now? It only gives you 70 ability power and 20 ability haste. You can already get the anti-healing for 800 gold, so I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me anymore. Yumo's Ghostblade, they're making it cheaper. Whatever. Yumo's Ghostblade. Like, okay, I guess. New runes. Okay. Champion rune replaced by new sudden impact. Champion was a very niche rune. I mean, because you guys nerfed it so hard. That's why it was niche. That was only picked on very rare occasions. We're replacing it with sudden impact, which should allow it to be picked and used in more situations. Okay. Sudden impact. This is just a domination rune, which is the second runes. After exiting stealth or using a dash, leap, blink, teleport effect, damaging an enemy champion grants 10 armor penetration and 10 magic penetration for 3 seconds. Wow. This is amazing on Rengar. This is so broken on Rengar, actually. Oh my god, this is so... You permanently get this bonus as a Rengar because so you're either exiting stealth from your ultimate or you're jumping all the time. This is so broken on Rengar. Also on Evelyn, like whenever you jump in... Well, actually on Evelyn you want to go Gathering Storm, so no. But Rengar, this is broken. Like this is going to be... Every game you go this on Rengar. On Kha'Zix, this is also going to be incredibly powerful. It gives you the flat armor penetration. Really, really powerful. Wow. Rune changes. Reworked Pathfinder. Pathfinder is the one that gives you movement speed when you walk through the jungle. We are reworking Pathfinder so that it can be more effectively support... it can more effectively support a roaming playstyle for junglers and mid laners. Okay, so new effect. You gain 20 bonus movement speed in the river. When in the river while out of combat, restore... Oh, you restore 0.6% missing health or 0.6% missing mana based on the lowest value every second. You gain an additional 10 movement speed. That is amazing, actually. So, like, if you're roaming a lot, even as a support, this is amazing. This makes it so much stronger. Wow. This is so much stronger, actually. Damn. Reworked. Inspiration. Phase Rush. Phase Rush is the one that gives you movement speed. Phase Rush has been underperforming since its introduction. Yeah, for sure. Because it only gives you speed. So we're changing Phase Rush to grant shorter cooldowns instead of slow resist. Yes. This will open it up to be a good pick for mages who are looking for a more utility-focused option, instead of just damage. Effect. Hitting champions 3 times with separate attacks or abilities. Within 3 seconds, you get melee 40 to 60, range 30 to 50 movement speed, which is a lot of movement speed, and 75% slow resistance. They're changing that to this, so the movement speed is not changing, but now you actually get 10 ability haste, and it reduces your current basic ability cooldowns by 20%. So when you proc this item, you will get 10 ability haste, and immediately you're going to reduce all your cooldowns, not from your ultimate, by 20%. Who is this going to be good for? I guess Orianna. This is going to be good on Orianna. It's going to be good on Orianna. It's going to be good on... who is this going to be good on? Graves? Yes, Graves, actually. This is going to be good on Graves. Darius? Yeah, Darius as well. Like, you go in, and then it reduces your cooldowns. Darius, and you get the movement speed. I like this change, actually. I really like this change. Brutal. Yeah, Brutal is weak now. Brutal is lagging behind in power when compared to other domination runes. So we're amping up its damage output. Oh, that's a big amp up. That's almost doubling the damage early game. Jesus. From 7 to 12. And then late game 14 to 19. But this is huge. Like, the early game damage buff is actually pretty massive. Like, this is really big. Like, you're gonna do so much more damage in the early game. I like this change. This makes sense. Because Brutal was just very weak. Electrocute. We're reducing Electrocute's cooldown in the later stages of the game to fit the pacing of Wild better. Nice! From 20 seconds to 20 to 13. I love how they're buffing everything. Because Conqueror and... what is that other one? Lethal Tempo are just way better than any other rune in the game right now. And also, in the second runes, like Hunter Vampirism and Gathering Storm are really, really powerful. So it's really nice to see that they're buffing everything else to, you know, to make it more powerful. To really allow you to pick up different runes that are going to be strong. This is really nice. I love this. Scorch. Please buff Scorch as well. We're turning up the heat on Scorch by buffing the uptime and scaling its damage. Cooldown goes from 10 seconds to 8. Nice. So you can poke much more. And... more damage. Nice. Very, very nice. This is great. Like, these are all great changes. This is really going to allow you to utilize Scorch much more. You know, with champions like Brand, like Vex, you know, Orianna even. Like, you can really actually poke your enemy now. And having the cooldown be a bit lower, you can utilize it much more often in your lane. Triumph. Players should be triumphant over enemy champions, not jungle monsters. Deal 5% bonus damage to target. Oh, wait, really? Triumph worked on everything? Really? I didn't know that, actually. That's funny. You will now exclusively deal 5% bonus damage to champions lower than 35% health. That's funny. I actually didn't know that. Wow. Resolve. Adaptive Carapace. Okay. Adaptive Carapace is currently underperforming, so we're increasing resistances that the player gains when below 50% health. Instead of getting 12 armor or magic resist, you get 16 armor or 16 magic resist. Alright, that's gonna make it much stronger in the early game. Damn. Bone Plating's effect... not working against the initial hit made it difficult to appreciate and too easy to play around for the enemy. Yeah, because you could poke the enemy and you could burn away the bone plating. So that's the whole thing. Effect. Blocks damage from 3 attacks after the initial hits. Now it blocks damage from the triggering attack and 2 more attacks. Ah, that makes bone plating much stronger. Damn it. I don't like that. Everyone is gonna play bone plating now. This makes it so much stronger because it immediately will start blocking damage. It really works now against burst damage. Like, there is no real big counter to it. Also, if you get poked and you poke the enemy back, the bone plating is gonna be blocking the poke damage. Not all of it, but it's gonna be blocking part of the poke damage, and then you're gonna be able to poke that enemy back and hurt him much more. That's gonna make it much stronger. Actually, that's a big buff to bone plating. Jungle. Adjustments to Smite, Challenger Smite, and Chilling Smite. Okay. Ever walked away from a camp assured that your DOT would finish it off? I don't know what this means. Only to find that your quick maths didn't work out. This is your Smite. The Smite system has always been pretty bloated because it keeps changing. Every time you level up, the Smite increases by 40. So that's the thing. So we've smote down some challenging mechanics and added clearer jungle benefits. Hopefully you'll be smitten with our new Smite. Jesus Christ, come on. This is hilarious. They're removing Challenger Smite, which is the red Smite. There's no more red Smite, only blue. So now Smite will deal 600 true damage throughout the entire game, which is funny because in the later stages of the game, you cannot outsmite a Jhin anymore. They're gonna have to change Jhin again because the Smite now is 600 again, which means Jhin can very easily outsmite any jungler again. Very easily. Like, yeah, they're probably gonna have to change Jhin again. I hope they don't, because I love securing dragons. I am already able to outsmite junglers now, while they have a smite of 1000 damage, and now it's reduced to 600 damage. So, just a quick Jhin thing right there, because a new Jhin skin is coming out. Deal 602 damage to a larger epic monster or minion and restore 70 plus 10% total health. Yeah, sure. Upgrade to Chilling Smite after 3 uses. Passive jungle expertise. You get 20% bonus gold and experience from jungle monsters, but temporarily earn 60% less from minions. I feel like this used to be 50. I feel like they nerfed this. It used to be 50, I think, but whatever. 15% bonus damage and 50% additional ability damage to jungle monsters, yes. We restore 30 health over 5 seconds, yes. We restore 4 mana. This is still the same. Chilling Smite against monsters. Oh, so it goes from 600 to 800. Okay, so it's 800. That's only a 200 reduction. Okay, I mean, still. Against champions, you deal true damage and steal movement speed. Yeah, sure, it's still the same. Jungle conservation. This is new. We're introducing the conservation system to make roaming and ganking less punishing to jungle players and to give junglers an opportunity to catch up when they have fallen behind. Smite and Chilling Smite now grant their user the conservation buff. Okay. Every 5 seconds, the player gains 12 or 6 stacks towards the conservation buff. The number of stacks earned is based on the gold income of the player and the player's team. Okay. The player's team gold is lower than the enemy team's gold by 10% or more. And if the player's gold income is lower than their allies by 5% more, you gain more stacks. Okay, so if you have low gold, you gain more stacks. In any other state, you gain 6 stacks per second. So only if you're like very behind. If the player... so your team gold has to be... If the player team's gold is low... Okay, so your team has to have 10% less gold than the enemy. Basically, if you're behind in gold, it's going to be more than 10%, okay? And... So is it this and this? Or is it either this or this? Because if it's either this or this, then it's going to be really strong. If it's an and, which means you have to have lower gold than the enemy and you have to have lower gold than your team, then it's not going to be that strong. But I assume it's either. So either if you're behind or if you have less, 5% less gold. This is not going to happen too often because your support is very likely going to have less gold than you. But yeah, if you're behind your support, you're going to get 12 stacks as well. In any other stage, you gain 6 stacks. Okay. When you kill a large monster or epic monster, you will consume all current stacks of the conversation buff, granting you 1 gold per stack. Ooh, that's more gold for the jungler. Every 5 seconds. This can be huge, actually. You can get a maximum of 150 stacks. So the whole point is, you can be ganking, and while you're ganking, you're getting those stacks. And then when you go back to your jungle, you can just quickly get your stacks back. So you're not getting punished for ganking. That's the whole point. Right? Like you're getting a lot of gold regardless of ganking. Because before you could just farm while the enemy is ganking. And if the gank doesn't work out, the one farming gets much, much more gold. Now you won't be punished as much if you're ganking. Because you're going to be getting those stacks. and you can get the gold anyways. Okay, nice change, I guess. Jungle camp leashing. We're reducing the attack ranges of several camps to remove an optimization where a player could stand in the middle of two camps and farm both camps. Oh, so Morgana clear, Evelyn clear, you know, standing in the middle. Okay. Attack range adjustments. Yeah, so basically, yeah, this one, yeah. So Morgana can't do this anymore. Evelyn can't do this anymore. Yeah, okay, I see. They're changing it for these champions where you could do it. Okay. I mean, it makes sense. Like, this is really only gonna hit the very best jungle players. So, it makes sense. Like, the maniacs that would sit in practice mode and really practice this like crazy, those are the players that are getting hit. I kind of like this change. It's nice. We're rebalancing jungle camps to make the jungle less frustrating and more accessible, especially for new players. Oh, non-epic jungle camp level cap. What is important here? This doesn't really matter too much. Non-epic jungle camps armor magic resist reduced to 0. Okay. Non-epic jungle monster health. Early game. So you can clear the jungle much faster in the early game. Yeah. So they're reducing the HP early game. They're reducing all the HPs in the early game. All of the HPs are... So it's going to be faster. Jungle clear is going to be faster. Non-epic jungle camp respawn cooldown is going to be longer though. But that doesn't really matter too much because you can clear them faster. Non-epic jungle camp gold changes. 130 gold to 100 plus 3. Ooh, so you get less gold in the early game. And this makes sense because you already get gold from the construction stacks for the conservation, whatever, conservation buff. This makes sense that they're giving you less gold per jungle camp. Every jungle camp gives you less gold in the early game, and in the later stages of the game, it doesn't balance out 100%. It does actually. It balances out. Yeah, it balances out. The Krugs are giving more gold. Huh? Why are the Krugs giving more gold? Everything is getting nerfed but the Krugs. And the Wolf is also giving more gold. But mostly like mostly jungle gives you less gold now in the early game. XP changes, it gives you less XP as well in the early game. Okay. Interesting that it would give you less XP in the early game. Jungle monster attack range. Yes, we already read this. Oh, the Krugs no longer split to mini Krugs. That's why it gives you more gold. So it only goes to the middle Krugs. You know, you have the big Krug, the middle Krug, and then the tiny Krugs. You won't see the tiny Krugs anymore. I see. That makes a lot of sense. Like, you can clear the Krugs much faster now and get decent amount of gold from it. That's nice. New, shareable red Brambleback and blue Sentinel. This is great. Ever wonder whether a jungle buff should go on your jungler or be donated to an ally? To that, we say, why not both? Red Brambleback and blue Sentinels that spawn after 7 minutes. Oh, so only after 7 minutes we'll drop a second buff. So before 7 minutes, you won't get a second buff. That makes sense, because otherwise, you know, the ADC could be waiting for his jungler to take it, and then take it like before level 2. This is great. So it only works after level 7. This is really nice. The shared buff will only drop if the jungler clears the camp. So only the jungler has to take the camp. This is amazing, but this can be very toxic. Like, if the ADC steals away the red buff, the jungler won't get it, and that's gonna cause problems. So basically, a normal player should give this to his jungler, so then the ADC can take the buff as well, right? That's the idea. Or the mid laner for the blue buff. The second crest will stay on the ground for 45 seconds. So it's gonna stay on the ground for 45 seconds. So the jungler can take it, and then 45 seconds later, the ADC can take it, or the mid laner. Any ally except the jungler can pick up the shared buff by sitting in range. Okay, so the jungler cannot pick it up twice, right? A second crest will not drop if the enemy team slays your red buff. Of course, if the enemy team slays it, you know, if their jungler destroys it, then they will drop it. But if another enemy kills it, then nothing is going to be dropped. Evolved crest or cinder. Oh, it doesn't evolve anymore. It's going to be the same. So the red buff and the blue buff is not going to be evolved anymore. It doesn't give you additional damage, additional ability haste, and all that kind of stuff. Rift Herald. We're reducing the Rift Herald animation during and its cast time so that it can consistently take down more enemy turrets. Consistently take down enemy turrets. Total summoning animation duration from 7.6 seconds to 4 seconds. Headbutt against turret cast time from 2.5 to 1.75. This is great. Like, you know how frustrating it is when you put down the Rift Herald and the enemy kills it before it charges in, right? Like, everyone knows how frustrating that is. Now that's not really gonna happen anymore. Unless there's like 5 enemies around it and they have a small chance to take it. But this is an amazing change. Amazing quality of life change. Ever had a game where you were doing great and a single death gave your killer 2k gold? Yes. Like I had a game where I had a bounty of 3,200 gold. My Vex game where I had 32 kills. If you haven't watched that game already, by the way, look up HellsDevil Vex and you'll see a game where I got 32 kills. I think I had like a 3,000 bounty. So, oh, maximum bounty instead of being uncapped is now capped at 1,300 gold. This is amazing. Maximum bounty gold payment for one shutdown from uncapped to 1,000 gold. Maximum 1,000. Nice. Okay. That's great. Bounty that are not fully dropped in the first shutdown. Oh god. Oh god. So if you have a 2,000 gold bounty, basically it takes 1,000 gold, puts it when you die first, and then it puts another 1,000 bounty on your next death. Ooh. It is still good though. Like, it's still good. It's a good quality of life change. Like, yeah, it's good. Champion takedown experience. We're adjusting takedown experience in the early levels to smooth the impact of early kills. We're also delaying the start time of the experience catch-up mechanic, the one that gives you more XP if you're significantly behind the average level, as it was causing some weird cases in the early stages of the game. Experience catch-up activation instead of 30 seconds, 3 minutes. Okay. Experience granted for champion takedowns. So now if you take down an enemy, you get more experience. So kills are more important now. Oh, wait, level 1. No, that's not true. That's not true. Only level 1. So level 1 invades are gonna be stronger now because you get much more experience. Okay, I guess. That is it. That is it, guys. That is it for the update. I really have to go to the barber. So I'm gonna have to close the video. It's a good time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what your favorite changes in this patch. And yeah, I will see you all in the next Wild Rift video. Bye bye.